Hello and welcome back to another episode of XFL 4 Play. Now, I know this is posting on a Friday. This usually posts on a Monday. I apologize for that. As I mentioned in the post on Loud Sports, there was an issue with the audio, and I didn't want to put up a product that just wasn't up to my personal standards that I put for XFL 4 Play. They're not very high, but still, I don't want to give you not my best product. So I was going to put it up on Wednesday, but I had a lot of prep for the other podcasts that I do, and Loud Sports goes up on Tuesday. I was going to put this up on Wednesday, have a nice companion piece. Things just didn't work out that way. I'm not complaining. I'm just giving you the background on why this is coming out on a Friday. So instead of doing a recap of last week, which would be silly since we're already approaching week 4, I will say this about week 3, quick hits. Tampa played better than I expected. LA blew out DC. Holy crap. Seattle's got to work on their quarterback situation because Brandon Silver's not cutting it. The Renegades looked great in the fourth quarter. That's pretty much it. What else am I going to talk about? So now we're getting into week 4, and we're going to start breaking down the matchups. Like I said, instead of recapping that, we're going to break down week 4, and then I'm going to give you my power rankings heading into the games tomorrow. So let's do this. First game on the docket on Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, if you're living in the Midwest like this guy. It is the LA Wildcats taking on the New York Guardians. And it's an interesting matchup because you're seeing one team maybe on the rise and one team just quickly plummeting down into oblivion. The Guardians looked terrible in back-to-back weeks. I wrote it off in week 2 because the Defenders' defense was just dominant in the first 2 weeks. But now after week 3... and I know it was in the Dome, it was playing in St. Louis, and that crowd is going to be rabid, and they're freaking out. And I understand it's going to be a hard place to win, but Matt McGloin, they've got to figure that out, and what he's doing, and that whole offense is just hot garbage. LA, on the other hand, they kind of got into a rhythm and figured out what they want to do offensively, and their defense really rallied behind their offense. And I saw some spurts of momentum against the Renegades, and now it's really going in full steam ahead against one of the better teams in the league. It'll be an interesting matchup. If you want my picks, check out Loud Sports, and I'll give you my picks there. I'm not going to do it here because, I got to do cross-promotion. The next game after that on Saturday, we have the Dragons taking on the Battlehawks in St. Louis at the Dome, and it's going to be hard to beat St. Louis at the Dome. Let's be honest. They played incredibly well against the Guardians, and they're looking like one of the better teams in the league. My chair fell. They're looking like one of the better teams in the league, and I really don't think a lot of teams are going to get a lot of wins against them in the Dome. It's going to be hard to do. And Seattle, I don't know what's going on with Brandon Silvers. Again, in the first game of the season, he did have those interceptions, including a pick 6, but he looked good in spurts, and I just don't know what to make of it, and we'll see what happens with the Dragons taking on the Battlehawks. It's going to be a battle of a running game and a defense. I expect low scoring, and I expect hard-nosed football in February. And now we move on to March 1st. Sunday, the first game on the docket. It has officially been labeled the Texas Throwdown, the first, I think, big rivalry of the XFL. It's the Houston Roughnecks. It's the Dallas Renegades. The social media for this has just been phenomenal. Both accounts have been great. Follow all the again, I've said it week after week. Follow the XFL's official account. Then follow all the team accounts because they're all great and they're all fun to watch. And just the fact that the mayor of Dallas has gotten behind this, I have to assume the mayor of Houston's going to get behind this and fight for the pride of Texas. But it'll be the clash of P.J. Walker against Landry Jones, Cameron Artis-Payne, Cam Phillips. All these stars will align and collide in Dallas, and this makes me wish the XFL had a flex schedule like the NFL because this could be prime time, baby. That's how good this game is going to be, and I'm very excited. And the last game of the weekend, it's going to be the DC Defenders taking on my Vipers, #FangGang. I don't know what to make of the Vipers because while they are the only winless team in the league, they have shown so much improvement from week 1 to now, and especially last week, they went toe-to-toe with the best team in the XFL, and it gave me so much hope, but they have to figure out the quarterback situation. Is it Quentin Flowers? Is it Aaron Murray? Is it, I don't know, Taylor Cornelius? I really hope not. I've been a Quentin Flowers guy since week 1, and I will continue to be a Quentin Flowers guy. He is my quarterback, and I wonder if the fans at the Raymond James are going to boo anything that Aaron Murray does, because all signs point to him being the starter this weekend. Cardell Jones, on the other hand, he talked a lot of trash, and it didn't pay out for them, and I'm interested to see what Pep Hamilton can do with the defenders, because they've been running roughshod over the XFL for weeks 1 and 2, and then they get punched in the mouth in week 3. Let's see what happens. All right, so those are the 4 games coming up this weekend. Those are my quick fire breakdowns of them, and I'm excited again. This product has been so much better than I anticipated, the XFL, and when you're the XFL expert, it's nice to know when you're right. So here comes the power rankings heading into tomorrow's games and Sunday's games. Let's do it. At number 8, unfortunately, not a good angle. That's my Tampa Bay Vipers. They are the number 8 team. Now, if they had beaten Houston or played them, if LA would have gotten blown out, I could have probably justified putting Tampa up higher, but that's just where they are. At number 8, it is the Vipers. It is what it is. They're the only winless team. At number 7, a team that continues to slide down to number 7, the New York Guardians. I had them at number 3 after the first week. Then they dropped to 6, now they're down to 7. They continue to not look very good. And I can tell you right now, if they lose and Tampa wins, they've got to be the 8th team. At number 6, jumping up 2 spots from where I had them before, it's the LA Wildcats. 39 points, the most scored in an XFL game. 39-9. That's the biggest point margin. 30 points. That's crazy. Josh Johnson has continued to look better and better as he's played, and I don't know. LA's looking kind of good, but I don't want to overreact. So they're number 6. And number 5 on the decline. It is the Seattle Dragons. They had that again. I think hard-fought game. I think this final score doesn't really indicate how well they played against the Defenders, and then the win against my Vipers, but then just the collapse in the fourth quarter against the Renegades. I mean, they had the football down 9 points, and 9 points is a one-possession game in this league, and they just couldn't get it going, so they dropped down to number 5. At number 4, continuing to climb up in my book, the Dallas Renegades. They continue to progress and look better and better each week. Landry Jones is undefeated as their starter, so because he didn't play week 1, he's undefeated as their starter. They've got a solid running back in Cameron Artis-Payne, and Landry Jones does enough to win them football games, and I think that Sooner connection between him and Stoops really makes a difference for the Renegades. At number 3, dropping 2 spots, it's the DC Defenders. I don't want to overreact and drop them lower. I probably could have, but I think they're still one of the better teams in the league. They just didn't have a good game, and they didn't play well, so we'll see what happens, but I got to put them at number 3. And jumping up all the way to number 2, it is the St. Louis Battlehawks. They looked great at the Dome. They played great at the Dome. They looked unstoppable. They had the first ever kick return for a touchdown in the XFL. It is going to be hard to beat teams in that venue. They might go undefeated in the Dome. I'm just saying. It might happen. Regardless, they are number 2. Jordan Tamu does enough. They are hard-nosed, punch-you-in-the-mouth football team. Good defense, smash-mouth offense. They're fun to watch. And at number 1, the most exciting team, the best team, it is the Houston Roughnecks. They continue to dominate. And yes, they've handled adversity in week 2 and 3 after the dominating performance against the Wildcats, Battlehawks, and the Vipers. Put up a fight and made it one-possession games, good football games. But P.J. Walker, Cam Phillips, those two are human cheat codes. Usually you only get one human cheat code per team, and Houston got 2 with the connection between P.J. Walker and Cam Phillips. It is just so much fun to watch, and Houston is the best team in the league, so we're getting number 1 versus number 4 in Texas. It's going to be fun, and I just wish they could put this at like 7 o'clock, make it a primetime Sunday night game. But that's just not how it works. Maybe in the future when this league continues to grow in popularity, because it will, that'll happen. Thanks for watching another episode of XFL 4 Play. It will be a regular scheduled episode on Monday, so you're getting back-to-back. But I didn't want to get this out there before the games this weekend to get you excited, get you hype. What did you think of my power rankings? Do you have separate ones? Comment below. I want to know your power rankings. 1 to 8. Give me the whole thing. I want to know what you think. And I can't wait for this weekend. Go Vipers. #FangGang. Let's get a W. Let's shock the XFL and give the Defenders 2 losses. Could you imagine going into Week 5, the Defenders being 2-2? Sounds kind of awesome. See you next week on XFL 4Play.